Hey, we're here at Pine Meadow Ranch in Sisters, a part of the Roundhouse Foundation, and we're so excited to share with you the 2021 garden quilt that has been a collaboration between Pine Meadow and Kit Stafford, one of our Sisters quilt artists. This is the design that Kit came up with, and as you can see, she's included some iconic areas here in Sisters. Black Butte, there's a really fun I think you would call it old wives' tale, possibly, that you don't plant your seeds until the snow melts, and you can see that here, the Roundhouse barn. But I didn't even introduce you yet. This is Pam Wavrin, and Pam is the director. She keeps me on direction. Are you stopping?
No, you're good. We're live.
Oh, we're live. Great. Pam is the director of ranch operations here at Pine Meadow. And so her job in working with Kit on this was to then create a quilt garden, and she's going to share that with us today. So excited. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and checking this out.
You bet. Would you kind of walk us through some of the design elements that you put in the garden that were taken from the quilt?
Sure. So with quilts, with Kit's quilt, the original design, so you can kind of see that she integrated, so she made Black Butte, also the round barn, that is one of the iconic features of Pine Meadow Ranch. And so we took her design and kind of did an outline of it with old implements that Kit had in her ranch, at her house, and a bunch of stuff we had around the ranch, and a bunch of old barnwood, and we kind of created the outline of it. So it's kind of hard to see from here, but you can see that's Black Butte, and there's the snow up on the mountain, so it's not time to plant yet. And then we have the different color wheels. And so Kit and I early on decided that it would be fun to have everything in edible flowers and edible plants. So it's not just a flower garden, but it's an edible flower and vegetable garden. And so we had a couple artists in residence who helped me install all the wood pieces and find all the things around the ranch. And then they helped me do some planting, and then Kit came out and helped me do a bunch of planting too. All the zucchini, all the squash plants that are in here were started by a group from Heart of Oregon. So they had a bunch of students out that were doing a tour of the ranch, and they planted these in the greenhouse. And then the strawberries, the alyssum, most of the marigolds, and a bunch of the sunflowers we started from seed in the greenhouse here. And so we thought it would be kind of fun, like the sunflowers are up in the sun in the corner. And it has a lot of stuff, different things coming up through it. So there are beets that are coming up through the petunias, and we have borage coming up through the purple alyssum. So it's going to kind of change as the season progresses. And then we have like this expanse here. This is cinnamon basil. Who knew that there was a cinnamon basil that has a really pretty purple flower. We've got dahlias, which are edible. Swiss chard there that has gladiolas coming up through it, so they'll bloom later. And there is some lime basil in there. So we have purple alyssum and borage, marigolds, which are really bitter. We made a salad with all the stuff in here the other day, and the marigolds were not a hit, but you can eat them technically. And then this section here is strawberries and violas, and then we have sweet William. And this is the one thing I will say, I'm not sure actually if they are edible. It was kind of a cheat. And there are some nasturtiums that are in the understory of the sunflowers there. And then under the squash plants, we have a bunch of herbs. So this is all, I guess, the herb garden here. And then we have zinnias around these circles here.
pointed out, over here are some blueberries growing in the barrel. So there's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, blueberries and then a variegated sage and then some sorrel, which if you want to grab a leaf, it's really lemony. It's very tart. It's delicious.
Well, we just really want to thank Pine Meadow and Roundhouse for partnering with us this year, creating such a beautiful quilt garden, being part of the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show family. Pam, thank you for sharing this with us, and we might come back in a few weeks to see some of these new things coming back and popping up.
That would be great. I love it.
Thanks so much.